folks. Slightly covered under medical insurance. That's the bad news. Slightly is not covered under medical insurance currently. Do we get good news? We're waiting and seeing. I am expecting a call at some point today. Slightly drugged up. No. I haven't taken my pain meds in a couple days. I don't want to be that guy. Honestly, doesn't really hurt that bad. Slightly broke. I'm hopeful it's like 7-8 grand is what I'm hoping it is with payment plan options. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I think it probably is. Don't take the meds. Slightly trust me. Yeah, I mean, I took them a few days ago and it was just so drowsy. It wasn't like I was zooted or anything like that. I was just drowsy as fuck. My hernia surgery was $50 without insurance. Yeah, but I don't need to go to the hospital. I don't need to like overnight stay. Hernia is pretty serious. My crutch is close to falling off the ledge. Good. I'll throw it over. Tired of it. I'll throw it over the ledge. Grade our slightly names. We worked hard. Slightly limping, slightly crippled, slightly handicapped, slightly broken, slightly shaky, slightly impaired, slightly fractured ankle. That I don't think is very slight. I don't think there's too much slightly about that one. Slightly disheveled. That one's true. Slightly boned, slightly hurt, slightly wrecked, slightly in pain. Slightly dramatic. No, I wish I was being dramatic. Slightly fake x-rays. I wish they were fake as well. Slightly injured. Yeah. There ain't much slightly about that one. David with the $4.99. Slightly funded surgery. Thank you, David. Thank you. Did Lambo survive the hailstorm? Was worried about the car collection. Yo, honestly, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it. I mean, it rained and stuff, but unless I was just super locked in, I didn't see anything. All right, like it was windy and stuff, but it wasn't. I'll sub to your OnlyFans site. You think is a donation? All right. On a serious note about OnlyFans, so whenever I start one, no, I'm just joking. But so I guess I'll take as much advantage as I possibly can of not being able to move, and the fact that I am upstairs and getting up the stairs originally. So I'm not a crier. I'm a strong man. I'm a strong man, right? I don't cry a lot. Not that I'm not in tune with my emotions or anything, but I don't cry a lot. I try to soldier through a lot of things, right? So I've had people who know me, who interact with me daily, are like, "How are you so positive right now through all of this shit?" I'm trying my hardest, right? I went after I got put in the cast. Getting up the stairs was so fucking difficult that I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Once I got the stairs, I full-fledged broke down. Now, it was a mixture of frustration. It was more so frustration. Because I'm a proud person. I don't like taking help. I don't like that shit. So not being able to get up the stairs. And to be fair, it was my first time. I didn't really know. I don't know the optimal method. I didn't know the optimal method. So it does suck because it's not like I can't leave. And how would you take groceries up in the building? I'm just going to have to get groceries delivered. I mean, that's just the reality. I hate being that fucking guy, but, it is what it is. People get paid to do it. That's just the truth. Whenever I was doing my hat shipments, I scheduled 100 to get picked up because I was looking up online and people were saying, if you have a lot of shit to deliver, that's the best way to do it, just to schedule pickups. But I was noticing a common trend, and I've had nothing but good interactions with everybody at USPS. But I was noticing a common trend online when people are like, you're going to have to make friends with the delivery guy because they're going to be pissed off. I was like, what? And sure enough, the guy gets there for the 100 and he was upset. He was like, is this going to be an everyday thing? And in my mind, I'm thinking like, brother, I understand. I get it. But is it not kind of your job? Like, I do get it. I get being annoyed and upset. But was your trip to Europe something about work, money, or just personal? No, it was just a personal vacation. I mean, I'm super bummed I'm going to miss it. Also bummed. Yeah, I mean, it was a pain in the ass, don't get me wrong. But I helped them carry all the shit down and stuff. No, he brought 2 big ass boxes. They weren't enough. I mean, I carried it down with him. It wasn't like I made him do it himself. But I don't know. Everyone online too is like, yeah, my delivery guy was pissed off that he had to do it. And I'm just like, why? But anyways, the other thing that sucks about the Europe part of it is, you know, whenever I buy expensive things months in advance. So for example, I'm going to Austin City Limits first time, right? Tickets are like $300. I think I'm going. Tickets are like $300. That's expensive enough for me that I tack on $20 insurance just in case, right? Just in case. Now, there was no flight insurance. So I was supposed to fly with Virgin Atlantic. They don't do refunds. They don't do credits. So between now and up to 24 hours before my scheduled flight, which is Saturday, not this Saturday, but Saturday, the following Saturday, I have to pull a trip out of my ass. That's what they can like change the date of my flight. So I just have to plan a trip. I got on Virgin Atlantic once. Now it's just Atlantic. Yeah, they only do Europe. They pretty much only do Europe. Hold on a second. I have to take this. That was my grandma. That was my grandma. All right. You're not supposed to pee above a certain altitude on planes. I mean, my doctors were basically like, you cannot go on a plane. Like the chances of your injury swelling and then you getting a blood clot and dying are greatly increased. I know I was muted, guys. I was on the phone. It would be easier, guys. I know I was muted. It would be easier if you know, I lived on the first floor or something. My grandparents who I lived with leaving college, they lived really close. They want me to just like come to their place. I just have so much shit. I don't think you guys understand my workstation over here. It's not like I can just pick it up and move it. Grandma's a guest and stream went. Have you ever thought you were muted and spilled the beans? Yeah, whenever I was working on the Luca trade. All right, let's get started with our games. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, make sure you do so. Helps me out tremendously. Lets YouTube know I'm having a great time. Of which we are. Oh, sorry, I got derailed because we were talking about OnlyFans. The OnlyFans thing. Piggybacking off of that, we're gonna try and do like Slightly Gaming is coming, probably soon. I still don't know where I want to do that at, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know what platform I want to do that at. Don't get the surgery. YouTube, Twitch. See, like, I don't want to do it on here. Is the thing. Just because it's just such a Kick's not an option. It's such a different vibe. YouTube doesn't like that. The Clips channel. Twitch. So then I'm going to have 3 different streaming platforms. Truth Social. Does Truth Social have a streaming apparatus? But then I also don't really want to make a 3rd channel. I'll have to workshop it. I'm still struggling. I don't really know. Facebook gaming? Hell yeah. I thought about playback. The only problem with playback is I just don't think the quality is that great. If that makes sense. Create a gaming channel, don't use your sports ones. Yeah, I mean, using this channel is off the table entirely. Twitch is a possibility, I guess. It's just so weird to have so many different streaming places. I mean, I guess we can just experiment too. And it's not like it has to be set in stone. All right, speaking of gaming, let's go. I'm gonna say Slightly Gaming, and then we're just gonna play Wordle all day. Parm, chicken parm. Let's see. What are we thinking here, folks? Clarp. LARP. Blarp. Blart. Paul Blart. Mall cop. Oh my God. Okay. BART. Isn't that a public transit service somewhere? Isn't that Bay Area Rapid Transit? Okay. Bored. It's gonna be me a lot. This is gonna be me a lot. Right there. That's gonna be me. Bored. Different spelling, of course. Different spelling. All right, here we go. I heard yesterday's one was tough. Let's see. Goo gaga. All right, we got a syndicate. All right, this is where my Sopranos viewingship comes into play here. Syndicate, crew, family. Ring could even be ring. Or order, one of those. Yeah, crime organization. And that's just my Sopranos viewership helping me out there. Goo gaga. Goo, paste. Save, reserve. Save, reserve, book, and requests could all be. Ooh, really? Save, reserve, request, book. I mean, I think order is the one. But the question is, I think, okay, order instead of book. Save. Book, order, request, reserve. All right. Got it. Print, paste, save, quit. All right, this one was easy. And then what's genus, goose, slid, and amazing? Spelling bee ranks minus a letter. Spelling bee ranks minus a letter. Genius, good, amazing, solid, I'm guessing. All right. This one was an easy one. I'm not going to lie. With amazing, I did think that it was maybe a missing letter situation, but for some reason I was thinking magazine. I don't know why I was thinking magazine. I was thinking like they're missing a letter and then the letters are mixed around. We kind of crushed that one. I mean, that was an easy one, though. I never wanted this for you. What are you guys? What are you guys up to? What are you guys watching? I'm pretty pumped about finishing Sopranos. I could be done with it by the end of the week. The only thing is it's starting to reach a point where I know things are turning and bad. It's only bad from here on out. Not the show quality. Not the show quality. But the outcomes for some of our favorite characters is just probably not gearing up for Bear season 4. Yeah, that might be good because sometimes, it's like kind of hard getting comfortable for me with my ankle situation. Hard to get comfortable and feel good. So if I need to sleep, the Bear season 4 coming out is big for me. So that'll be nice to have that. I need to get into draft content. I haven't done it all because I didn't think I was going to be here, but I need to start gearing up, huh? I want to watch Band of Brothers. Haven't seen it yet. That's good. I saw that. So I haven't seen that in so long. But that is a good one. Is Superman going to be good? That comes out on my birthday, I think, or at least the day before. When does that come out? We'll see. The 11th? We'll see. We'll see if that's good or not. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Porn? To each their own. To each their own. I do think it's funny how every Cooper Flag thing is a story. It's like, breaking news, the Mavericks have scheduled a visit with Cooper Flag. It's like, yeah. I mean, I hope so. That would be kind of crazy if they didn't. This is interesting. ESPN. All right, let's get going. Good morning, folks. It's Monday, June 9th, 2025, 11:06 a.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome to Slightly Early, the number one basketball / geopolitical / medical show on Spotify. It's true. I looked it up. I did the research. In case you are completely unaware, I'm always just so interested about my Spotify listenership. I'm also interested to see if there's anyone who just somehow found this on Spotify and doesn't know about anything else in the Slightly Biased universe. I like to think that person exists, at least one of them. In case you're fully unaware, I've broken my ankle. So that's something that has happened to me. And we're all dealing with it, and it's all been a tough blow. So, yeah, if I ever sound loopy, in the coming weeks, if I ever sound loopy or out of it, it's probably because I am. So anyways, leave a 5-star review if you're listening to this on Spotify. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you haven't liked the stream yet, make sure you do so. Also, if you're listening to this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. Game 2 of the NBA Finals happened last night. It was a dominant performance. I'm really not sure, like, truth be told, I'm really not sure what the takeaway from this series is so far. We've had 96 minutes of basketball played, and the Thunder have, absolutely dominated like 92 of them, 90 of them. So it's interesting, right? It's interesting. I'm looking at this game. Game 3 is going to be Wednesday night. I'm looking at this, and ESPN's giving the Pacers like a pretty solid chance. Their little matchup predictor thing, a pretty solid chance to win this game. And if you're Indiana, like, stealing game 1's huge because you had a good shooting game in game 1. But I was always going to factor in a game where Indiana, and it's why I chose the Thunder in 5 ultimately, was I was going to factor in a game where Indiana was just red hot offensively, which their offense is so good they're going to have a game like that. And, game 1, they shot really well from 3. That was more of their devil magic paying off. I still think they'll have a game at home where their offense is just unbelievable and they win a game, which means the Thunder would have to win game 6 on the road, and they haven't been that great of a road team. Like, they've been really good, don't get me wrong, but they're a much better home team, like a dominant home team. Let's be real, it's OKC in 5, maybe 6, but probably not. Yeah, let's start here with last night's game, okay? It was a beatdown. It wasn't close really at all. It never was close at any point. The moment the game started, I guess it was first quarter was somewhat close. The Thunder went on a big run at the end of the first quarter to build a 6-point lead. And from there on out, it was the game never really felt in the balance, right? I will say that the Pacers scored 66 points in the second half. So maybe there's something there they can take away. But like I mentioned, the game was done at that point. And if I'm the Thunder, I'm looking at the second half as well, and I'm thinking, we got every single shot we wanted. The Thunder offensively put on a clinic in this game. A clinic. Mozzie, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. Put on an absolute clinic. I believe I saw 123 points was the most points in a finals game in the last 5, 6, 7 finals. It was something along those lines. And it was a absolute masterclass from Shay Gilgeous-Alexander. This is one of the better games he's had this postseason. 34 points, 11 of 21, went to the free throw line 12 times, 8 assists, had 4 steals. But it was just it's actually interesting looking at Lou Dort was a -3 in this game. I really don't know what the takeaway for that should be, if there is one at all. Because like I said, I don't think this game really felt close at any point. But my Lord, SGA put on a masterclass last night. And it is history. History has been made by Shay Gilgeous-Alexander. The most points, I thought I retweeted this. I guess I didn't. The most points in a player's first 2 final games in the history of the NBA combined. The most points. And has 9 straight home games with 30-plus points this postseason. That's the longest streak in a single playoff run in NBA history. That's one of those stats, like, how many times do you play 9 home playoff games? Like, you're making the finals if you play 9 home playoff games, right? So, you're kind of, you're lowering the barrier of entry there is tough. But 72 points in the first 2 games of the NBA Finals. It's the most points ever by a player in his first 2 career NBA Finals games. So he struggled a little bit in the Grizzlies series, by his standards at least. And really since then, since the aura farming moment, what game was that against Denver? Game 4? Really since the aura farming moment in game 4 against Denver has just been playing out of his mind. His last 10 playoff games, 32 points per game, 7 assists, 2 steals, 50% from the field, 40% from deep, 86% from the free throw line. Jesus. That was a dominant performance last night. He got everything he wanted, was knocking down that mid-range shot at just incredible efficiency. That was SGA signature knee pads just dropped, already bought out by media members. Yeah, guys. You're not allowed to talk about a guy who scored the most points ever by a player in the first 2 finals games of their career. You're not allowed to talk about that. You're not allowed to say it's great. You're not allowed to say it's good. You're not allowed, guys. But an absolute masterclass, though. It was an incredible game by him. An incredible game. And I thought game one, his numbers were pretty good, but I thought it was a weird game. The first half was incredibly weird. 18 shots in the first half. Was rushing shots. Was really like, he's not a very good three-point shooter for as good of a scorer as he is. But his misses were bad. So I thought he was a little bit rushed. Thought he was a little bit amped. This game was just a masterclass by him. The amount of space he can create, the subtle bumps. You can get mad at it and call them push-offs. Everyone does it. That's just the truth. Everyone does it. Everyone does them. Everyone does it. Everyone does the little shoulder push. Everyone. Aaron, 4 months inside Delusional Club. Hallie's stats have been awkward so far. Yeah, so this is the Halliburton dilemma. The Halliburton problem. He puts up 17 points in this game. How many of those were in the fourth quarter when the game was completely and totally out of reach? The Thunder's lead was pushing like 30 points at a certain point in the fourth. In the second half of this game. And Indiana just kind of, Indiana was just, what did they end up shooting from three? 35%. They took 40. That's the recipe, is to just bomb threes. But yeah, that was not a good Halliburton game. 5 turnovers, 6 assists. That's very unlike him. And it really wasn't 15 turnovers. I was just going to say, by and large, it wasn't a bad turnover game at all from Indiana. But this is it. Is the thing is, and I've seen this debate, who's a better playmaker, Halliburton or Luca? That's been a thing lately. It's Luca. And I know Halliburton's like playmaking stats are tremendous, and he is a tremendous playmaker. He's one of the best in the NBA. I don't want to take that away from him. He's very efficient. I want to be careful how I say this because I'm not meaning it in a negative way. When I say he's kind of like a field general quarterback, because that kind of sounds like I'm saying he's a system player, which I don't think that's true at all. But he's kind of a field general, or he's not, he knows what works for him. And that's what he does. He doesn't take too many crazy risks. And there's a lot of value to that. So I'm not shitting on that. I'm not shitting on that at all. But he doesn't consistently create advantages for himself and others the way like Luca does. You get what I'm saying? Luca is a master at creating advantages for himself, which then leads to him creating advantages for others because teams are paying so much attention to Luca, and he's such a great and talented passer and such a smart player that he plays off of that. Halliburton doesn't really do that. Think about the term game manager? Yeah, okay, game manager. There you go. Field general's a compliment. All right, well, there you go. Halliburton is the Brock Purdy of the NBA, same college, ironically. Luca is the Josh Allen. That's actually not bad. That's not a bad comparison right there. That's really not that terrible of a comparison. I think people would hear that and get offended. Because my brain, Brock Purdy sucks. But does he? I haven't watched the NFL really in a while. Luka had higher peaks in the series, but he was dog shit in his lows. SGA was more consistent. What are we doing? The Luka SGA thing? We're doing the comparisons. If Shay wins a ring, is he already ahead of Luka all time? I hate to be that guy, but he'll have an MVP, a Finals MVP, and a ring. I mean, last year's series. So Shay was incredible in that series against the Mavs. And I do think, like, just over the course of the series, game 1 through 6, I do think Shay was the best player in that series. But the thing is, though, is Luka turned it on when it mattered the most and outplayed the Thunder in the last 2 games of the series. Again, when it mattered the most. So it's not like Shay had bad games, but Luka just completely took over those games. The Mavs need a player like Lou Dort and Caruso to contend in the future, like a Herb Jones. Yeah, Game 5 and Game 6, the 2 biggest games of the series, Luka was the best player on the floor comfortably. So, although Shay was, unless I'm misremembering, Shay was pretty fucking incredible in that Game 6. Do you consider Luka's EuroLeague accomplishments when comparing versus SGA Kentucky? Why would I do that? I'm talking about their NBA careers. No. I think the bigger story was... So I have to be honest with you, when I'm doing the better player stuff, early career accomplishments to me is just like, why do I factor that in now? How he does well when his teammates do well. Siakam seems to be the driver behind the team, playing well to me. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And I think it was, who was on the call? Richard Jefferson was really hammering this point home that Halliburton needs to be more aggressive, just needs to try and get to the paint. The thing is, though, is that, like, the Thunder just aren't, it's like the Thunder are just like, yeah, man, you go to the paint. You're going up against one of the greatest defenses ever. Yeah, SGA was incredible in that game 6. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Recency bias is one hell of a drug. I mean, if you're just comparing like resumes, an MVP and a finals win is just, if somebody has that and the other doesn't, that's usually the end of the conversation. I mean, that's if you're just going to compare 2 guys, one has an MVP and a finals, like that's just, it's hard to argue against that. The slander on Luca's name. Now, I want to say this. I do want to say this, unless I'm missing it. Now, I will say this. Is 5 All-NBAs worth more than 1 MVP? No, especially when you factor in Shay has All-NBAs as well. I haven't really noticed these comparisons, unless I'm missing it. I haven't noticed these comparisons necessarily, except by like Luca fans on Twitter. That's like where I see it. I don't really see it from other people. It's like they bring it upon themselves. Embiid over CP3 all time because Embiid MVP. Once you get into like the later into players' careers, it gets different. But when these guys are 26 years old, when these guys are 26 years old, and one has an MVP and a championship. That's, what are we even talking about? Comparisons are always made. Player X versus Luca on social media. They're made by each player's stands. Why aren't these players comped to SGA? There probably are. You probably just don't see them because you're on the Luca side of Twitter. You can't have these conversations with Luca stands. They can't be critical at all. I mean, I just think it's probably closer than you guys want to admit. What's actually interesting is 26, Shay. Oh my God, I actually didn't even know this. Maybe I did. Me and Shay share a birthday? Did I know that? I had to have known that. Well, it was destiny. You putting Shay higher than Luca in the top 100 players is going to be hilarious. Is that even up for debate this year? Like, my top 100 players is always based on the past season. Is that even really up for debate? There's no way people can get mad at that. They will? Well, that's on them. That's not to be taken seriously. If you think Luca had a better season than Shay, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Luca playing pro before NBA put miles on his body. When he's 35, he'll move like he's 40. Luca's still playing at a high level at 35. I think will be a huge success. A huge success. Hello, Unc. SGA got a better team than Luca. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That is true. SGA didn't get kicked out of his franchise and called foul on the way out. I'm not even touching that. Luca, 2 to 3 elite years left. I don't know about that either. What was I looking up? I was looking up something. So it's going to be interesting. Shay is the fact that Shay's the first guy since, what was it, the 2016 draft to win MVP? That is so jarring to me and so shocking. But it'll be interesting if the Thunder do win this series. Shay will win the Finals MVP. Before the age of 27, he'll be a 3-time All-NBA, first-team guy, MVP, and a Finals MVP before the age of 27. That's a pretty damn good start to your career. That's a pretty damn good start. What do you guys feel about Wemby being bald? So with your current logic, if Pacers win this series, Luca's better? I mean, if you're making an argument based off of who has the better resume, yeah, not winning would make that argument a lot closer. Yeah, Wemby is bald. Wemby is bald. He shaved his head. You should go bald. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about shaving my head. No, I'm just joking. I was thinking about shaving my beard, though. Because I go to someone to get it done. I can't get up the fucking stairs. Would you ever cut the locks? I mean, at some point. Shave your head for a debt-free medical bill? Would I shave my head for free surgery? Yeah, I would do that 100%. Easily. Easily. Easily, I would shave my head. They'll grow back, right? Here's Wemby being bald. Wemby goes bald in China Monastery. Oh, and he's over in China too? Hold on. Wemby's actually my GOAT. Fuck everything I just said. Wemby's better than Shay. Wemby's better than Luca. Wemby's actually my GOAT. It's got some aura. I'm not going to lie to you. Wemby keeping the Spurs tradition alive. Our bald king. Only 20 years old. That won't lose aura doing that. If you can rock a shaved heads look cool. Like, I'm actually a shaved head truther. I am pro shaving your head. I think it could look really cool. The only thing is that I don't think it would look cool on me. And here's the other thing. Yeah, doing it intentionally is a power move. And I've long said this and I long believe it. When you're white, you run a risk. That's just the truth. When you are white, you run a risk of looking a certain way when you shave your head. You got to have some stubble, though, not just skin. Yeah, there's got to be some stubble. I agree. Going full bald is an absolute power play. And there's maybe 5% that can really rock just the clean baby head. And if you can do that, more power to you. It's a very small percentage. The buzz with some, stubble is a look. And I'm not going to lie. I've thought about it. But I don't think I'd rock it. I just don't. I think I'd look like a fucking idiot. Christian Brown, full bald. You could do Steve Austin, bald head, goatee combo. Yeah, you gotta pair bald head with facial hair. Is there anyone just bald with no facial hair? I don't know if I've seen that look. That's not old. I'm not talking like older people. Bruce Willis. Bald, no facial hair is crazy. I'm talking white guys. But Rogan doesn't go full bald head, does he? Doesn't he have stubble? Doesn't he have a beard too? I don't know. I don't watch Joe. Jason Statham. I think he's a stubble guy. Stubble. Lex Luthor, yeah, and that's the thing. And Lex Luthor looked fucking ridiculous. Sorry, in my opinion, especially Jesse Eisenberg. Like that's exactly it. Like maybe comic book lore accurate Lex Luthor, who's like huge and giant and muscular, like makes sense. Adam Silver's got a stubble situation going, guys. He's got a stubble situation. Michael Jordan had no facial hair. I'm talking white guys. Dana White. Oh, Dana White might be a good one. Does he have a beard though? He's got no, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is about right. He's got some stubble going on, but yeah. Penis cosplay. I was about to say I don't love it. Like that's the thing is I don't, more power to him. Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's a good one, but Vin Diesel's a good one, but also Vin Diesel's not white, right? Is Vin Diesel black? Definitely can't have a slim build for a shaved head. Diesel's not white. He's not black. Okay. All right. I don't know what the fuck we're even. Johnny Sins is a great one. Johnny Sins. Do not use Bing for that search, guys. Do not use Bing for that search. Do not use Bing for that search. That's all I'll say on the matter. That's all I'll say on that matter. All right, let's get into some slop. Bing it again. All right, we actually have some significant slop movement. The sludge is moving. How big was it? It's pretty big. I'm not gonna lie to you. We've actually had some sludge movement. All right. So first and foremost, I think most important thing, we're all waiting, eggshells, pins and needles, waiting for this domino to drop. It kind of sounds like Giannis might not get traded. There's been conflicting reports. We had a report that the Knicks were preparing to offer a tsunami offer for Giannis. This was a few days ago, but I believe it was Jake Fisher a couple of days ago who said that teams around the league believe that Giannis is not going to get traded. Oh, wait a second. Is this real? This is y'all's source for saying Giannis is staying. Jake Fisher, I don't fucking know what Giannis is going to do. I don't think he does. I don't think the Bucks do. I know Milwaukee is operating as if he's coming back, so other teams got to do that too. I hope we can still update fans without this stuff getting blown out of proportion. So Jake Fisher said that teams around the league are thinking that Giannis is going to stay put, which might not be the worst thing. Again, the best sales pitch the Bucks have to him is like, look how shitty this conference is. Reed with the 14 months just broke my foot, so yours can be healed. Thank you. Thank you for that. Mine's an ankle, though. So it was all for naught, unfortunately for you, right? Speedy recovery. But the ankle is what needed to be sacrificed. So there you have it. I was kind of starting to get this feeling that Giannis might not get traded only because we would have definitely heard something pretty significant by this point. Because the draft, we're approaching 2 weeks away from the draft. And again, if I'm the Bucks, I'm getting picks in this draft. I'm getting picks into this draft right now, high lottery picks, and I need to know what I'm doing. Right? I need to know what I'm doing. Review Tubby Doncic Fanspo trade? No, I'm good on that, I think. Either you're going to an East team, which I don't know how many great options you have there, or going to the West, which is insane. Exactly. Just got a delivery, folks. The scooter has made its way. God damn, this thing's heavy. The scooter has made its way to the Slightly Biased headquarters. We'll be scooting around now. We'll be scooting around. Scoot, scoot. Aura loss? I don't give a fuck. I'll lose Aura. I don't think you guys understand, man. I don't think you guys understand. Getting around in crutches is terrible. I will lose Aura. I'll be on a mobility scooter if that's what it comes to. I don't care. I do not care. And you know what? I gained Aura. I gained Aura by toughing it up for a few days. Because whenever I went to the doctor, they're like, you've been moving around on this? And I was like, well, kind of. And they were like, God damn. He's so brave and he's so strong. And dare I say, he's kind of hot. No, I was thinking the same thing. They didn't say that out loud, obviously, but I could sense it. It was radiating off of them. It was radiating. Everyone knew it was radiating. They've never seen ankles that strong. Ever. He's so dumb, risky moving around on his leg. That's what they were thinking. It was like I was walking around on it. Hunter, 8 months aside, Delusional Club. Do you need both of my ankles to match yours? And maybe even a third, if you could find one. Maybe even a third. I'm like a team negotiating a multi-team trade for sacrifices of my ankle. If you can get another team to give you another ankle, then maybe we're good. No Holly Stinker talks. I mean, what's there really to say about it? I mean, I don't. Halliburton's prone to these. Like, that's just it. I've already said he's not a guy who's going to create a ton of advantages for himself. This Thunder defense is incredible, man. They're insane. Cray, 29 months in the slightly delusional club. 29 months, man. God, take Slightly's pain and give it to Tatum, please. It's funny because I was actually having a talk on the phone with one of my best friends a couple days ago. He tore his Achilles a few years ago, so we were talking it up, going over like what it's like to move around in a boot. Obviously, very different injuries, but just like moving around in a boot and stuff like that. And he said he saw Tatum. He saw Tatum tweet. What was the tweet? Day 25, days start to get a little easier. And he said, I know what that tweet means. Tatum's going through it. Tatum is going through it. That's just I gotta be positive, man. This shit sucks. Was it like broken ankle or Achilles? Broken ankle probably hurts more. Dude, okay. So my broken ankle recovery timeline that was given to me was 10 weeks. And in 10 weeks, I'll be up and walking and completely normal. Achilles is a straight up year-long recovery process. How's the stair situation? Haven't been up and down them since. Stair situation's bad. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know how to fucking do it. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, Achilles, definitely a broken ankle over an Achilles. I mean, which one hurts worse? I don't know. Paul at the $2. What about the tendon? I don't know either. I'm not a doctor, man. They just told me what, and I was like, yeah, it hurts. So I believe you guys. Yo, am I crazy? Ray J. Dennis? He had 29 minutes in that double overtime Cavs game? Oh, this was the last game of the season. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea who this is. I take great pride in knowing a bunch of random NBA players. I have no clue who Ray J. Davis is. I actually have no idea who Ray J. Davis is. Confidence level in you having a 2021 KD playoff run, level run, your ankle recovers. 100% confidence. 100%. 100%. All right, no, seriously, back to the slop. So Giannis, nobody really knows right now. But again, I really feel like we would know some stuff, right? I really feel like we would know some stuff about Giannis at this point. It's only 16 days. Draft is 16 days away. And I guess there could be stuff going on behind the scenes, right? 10 weeks for walking again. How about softball heroics? Longer wait time for that? No. It's 6 weeks from what they told me. 6 weeks in a non-weight bearing cast. Why is Halliburton limping that badly in the post-game press conference? Did I miss something there? Are you worried that you'll be traded now that you're injured? No, Nico gave me full assurance that I won't be traded, so I feel good about that. But it's 6 weeks in a non-weight bearing cast and then 4 weeks in a walking boot. So I'll be in a walking boot for a while, doing physical therapy and shit. And then they said by when that's over, I'll just be good to do whatever the fuck I want. So we shall see. It really doesn't hurt today. I might try walking on it today. Just to see, just to test it out. You know, talking about the draft. Now that we're talking about the draft, let's look at this article. 5 teams most likely to make 2025 NBA draft night trades. This was posted by Bleacher Report yesterday. I'm hopeful we get some mocks in here. So all of our slop favorites, Wendy, Shams, they've all sort of hinted at the draft being crazy. They've all sort of hinted at the lead up to the draft and the draft itself being like an event. Like there's going to be so much movement, all of these things. Teams want to knock some of this shit out. The KD trade, a potential Giannis trade. Really, most trades, teams want to knock this shit out before the draft, right? So let's see what I was about to say, last year, it doesn't feel like we got that many crazy ones. Denny Avdia was moved on draft night. That was a pretty sizable deal. But there wasn't really that much, even in the lead up to the draft, unless I'm mistaken. There was a bunch of like salary dumping trades, which is what you usually get. If Mavs get KD, bro, okay, that ain't happening. Charlotte Hornets. Oh, they don't have any mock trades. Fuck this article then. Hornets, Spurs, Thunder, Houston Rockets, and Nets. All right. We want mock trades. Get your ass on Fanspo like the rest of us. Get your ass on Fanspo. Did you see the first take? He's acting like the Mavs have a head coaching vacancy. Has there been any updates on that? I actually saw there was a betting site where like Kidd was a comfortable favorite to be the Knicks head coach. I don't know if that was recent or not, but Knicks head coach betting odds. I saw they're expected to deny it. All right, well, this one has Michael Malone as a clear favorite. Really? I mean, what the fuck do they even base this on? There's no chance it's going to be Michael Malone. Are they even going to interview him? Has his name even been brought up really at all? Yeah, here's some Drew Holiday slop. The Boston Celtics are reportedly seeking a first-round pick for Drew Holiday. Hall of Famer Mark Stein reported this weekend that Boston is in fact listening to trade offers for Holiday, something most people assumed. While the focus has been on reducing payroll, sources have told the Paroxysm that Boston is setting the price at first-round pick along with whatever reduced salary comes back in the deal. Yeah, best of luck. Best of fucking luck. I'm so sure. I'm hanging up that phone so fast. Shams bomb? This better actually be a bomb. I'm going straight to the desk. This better actually be a fucking bomb.
Heard he has been unwilling to me to confirm, but league sources tell me that the San Antonio Spurs are De'Aaron Fox's perfect.
I'm the source now. Well, Cleveland Cavaliers star Darius Garland underwent surgery to repair a great toe injury and will be sidelined approximately 4 to 5 months. Damn. So Garland will probably miss the start of the next season. Jesus. So Darius Garland out for 4 to 5 months with a toe injury. Surgery. This was bugging him during the playoffs. He missed games in the playoffs because of that. Yeah. Hey, Darius, if you need help, if you just need somebody to help out, if you need like a physical therapy buddy, like I'm here for you, brother. Just let me know. Right? Let me know. I'm here for you. That's got to be that's a significant toe injury then. So that's, wow, 4 to 5 months. I mean, that does cut into next season for him. And it's kind of interesting because Darius Garland's name has actually popped up recently. I don't know if this toe injury necessarily changes that. I'd have to say I doubt it, but this was from Windhorse. I think there's some belief, this was a few days ago, to be fair. I think there's some belief that Darius Garland might be available under the right circumstances. I think the Cavs are listening and open-minded. Windhorse said this June 5th, so 5 days ago. So nothing too new or anything like that. It's kind of been this weird tug-of-war thing with the Cavs and Garland, at least just from like some reporting and SLOP, the SLOP side of things, because he was in trade talks after the Donovan Mitchell trade. Then he had the bad year last year that was destroyed by injuries. And then his name was in, rumors like, should they trade Darius Garland, build around Donovan Mitchell? You can't have both of them. Then he had an all-star year this year. Now he has this toe injury. I wonder if some of that's just enough for Cleveland to be like, all right, let's just, if we can get like some solid role players in return, it might be worth our while to listen to Darius Garland trades. I think that'd be the stupidest shit in the world, to be honest with you. Why didn't he get surgery after they got eliminated? Maybe he didn't want to be moved in the offseason. I mean, they were probably trying they were probably trying physical therapy. They were probably trying to not get surgery, going that route. And then they must have just decided recently that, it was in their best interest just to get the surgery. You see that happen from time to time where guys will have surgery as a last resort. Let's try all of our other options. And then if it doesn't get better, then we take the surgery. And, missing a couple weeks in the start of the season is not that big of a deal. But we also, We've seen this. We've seen this with players all the time coming into the season off of an injury, right? Coming into the season off of an injury where you didn't really have training camp. You didn't have the offseason to, get your body right, get your conditioning right, work on your bag or anything like that. The guys usually have down years after that. If your toe is injured bad enough to need surgery, you should not have played on it. It's crazy pressure teams put and fans put on players. Well, to be fair, players put that on themselves as well. Like if you know any of these guys, you played sports at any level, like you're going to try to play through shit. Whenever I broke my ankle, I tried to finish the game. No, I'm just joking. But these guys want to play through stuff. That's what the training staff is there for. That's one of their biggest jobs, is to save the player from themselves. That's one of the biggest jobs of a training staff. Tell the player, your ass can't play. I know you want to. I know you want us to tape it up. I know whatever. You want us to shoot you up with something. That ain't happening. You're not playing. Mavs training staff did good at that. Yeah. Mavs training staff, top of the fucking world. Now, do you think not playing on a broken ankle kept your trade value up slightly? Yeah, for sure. I think teams will look at my recovery time, 10 weeks, be back by the start of next season. And in some ways, right, they'll look at my resolve. They'll look at my resolve and they'll say, that's somebody we want on our team. The Cavs tried to get Jared Allen to inject painkiller for his bad rib injury. So what now? Does this change the dynamic at all for them, for the Cavs? Because they've had just some interesting, in my opinion, they should just run it back this season. Maybe next year you have to start making some tough decisions, but just run it back this season. You won 60 games. Yeah, you flamed out in the playoffs, but you can attribute that to a bunch of different things. You won 60 games. You're an incredible team. The Celtics, you could damn near write them off next year. I don't get why you need to make changes. I really don't. I'm not sure why there's this need to trade Jared Allen or trade Darius Garland. Cooper Flagg seen training at the sand dunes of Little Elm Beach. He made his way to Little Elm Beach? Hell yeah. That's a hidden gem in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. Little Elm Beach. Yeah. Look how beautiful that is. I actually saw an article recently. It was just kind of ranking like the best beaches in the world. And Hawaii was number one, obviously. You had the Amalfi Coast. Just like the best like ocean areas, beach areas was number two. And this was actually number three in the article. I don't remember who published it. But yeah, I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. There's something so funny about Out of Context Slightly Biased, because someone's watching this on the Clips channel, this video about Darius Garland, and just saw Dana White's bald head pop up for no reason. Just saw Dana White's bald head pop up. And there's really no context that even really makes sense. How is that a beach? You've clearly never been to Little Elm Beach. That's fine. It's actually invite only. So what does a Darius Garland trade? What does a Darius Garland trade even look like? I'm looking at Fanspo. It's all Darius Garland to the Magic. That would be nice. Mavs get Garland, Lakers get Gafford, Cavs get PJ Najee Reeves, 2029 Lakers pick. You're fucking cooking. And look, food review, you're just going to have to trust me. I was cooking up something very similar today. I was cooking up something very similar. But also, that's like a... So I think if the Cavs were to do something like that, if they were to decide for whatever reason that they're going to trade and kind of blow this thing up, I really doubt they'd trade both, right? I really doubt they would trade two of their guys. Unless they're just like, really, this team's not. Lakers not giving up Reeves or Gafford straight up. If they did, we should just trade for Reeves. So that's actually an interesting point. But the difference there would be Garland's under contract and you're going to have to pay Reeves next season, and Reeves is going to be an unrestricted free agent. So you do have like a legit flight risk. I mean, if we're just going to use the Mavs as an example, honest to God, low key, I think the Mavs could actually put something together that's somewhat interesting. I think the Mavs could put together a somewhat interesting package for Garland. But the thing that complicates that for the Mavs, like and then send Caleb Martin to the Nets or some shit. Like, the thing that complicates stuff for the Mavs is I'm not sure Garland and Kyrie's good together. Just not sure defensively. That makes sense. But he's still young enough that's like, all right, that's our point guard forever. Does this work financially? The Mavs would still have to get off some money. The Mavs would still have to get off some money. Cut Omax. So, and then the Mavs would certainly have to add draft picks to this. Is that something that would interest you guys? I think if you added draft picks, I don't think this is really that bad for Cleveland. I have to be honest with you. If they're going to trade Darius Garland, because you're getting like two really rock solid role players. PJ can start for you immediately. You have a really good backup center, which is something that could make Jared Allen expendable. If we aggregate players, I think we have to get off more money. Yeah. They would. They'd have to get off more money in this deal. The Mavericks bringing back Kessler Edwards. I know that's the news everyone's kind of waiting on. The Giannis update. Where's KD going to go? I know Kessler Edwards is up there as well. I'm not sure yet. That's just something that we'll have to wait and see about. I think a lot of the league's moves, why it kind of feels really quiet right now. One, we're not in the offseason yet technically. But why it feels really quiet right now is the league is sort of waiting to see where Kessler Edwards ends up. Then I think you'll start to see other moves that sort of piggyback off of that. You think Mavs will go for a top-level point guard or try to manage with role players? I think they're going to try to manage with role players. But if the Cavs call them about Garland, I don't know. Maybe they listen. Maybe there's something there. No, but everyone I've seen with Darius Garland is Garland to the Magic, which what can the Magic offer? Honestly, do the Magic have any? What's this one? Darius Garland goes to the Mavs. What do the Mavs give up? Mavs get Darius Garland for who? PJ, Dwight Powell, and 1 first? And Klay Thompson? Hell yeah! Hell yeah. Would you trade away 500 subscribers for a championship? 500? Yes. There's no way. Like, there's no way in fuck Cleveland or the Magic do this, right? Franz for Garland? Like, no chance. KCP, Cole Anthony, Jed Howard. I mean, is that it, like, that's horrible. That's actually terrible for Cleveland. That's such a terrible trade. Like, you're just keeping him at that point, right? Surely. Magic, I mean, surely they have some more interesting role guys, right? I don't even know what to make of Jonathan Isaac at this point. Suggs, I kept seeing like someone's like, and the Cavs would not entertain Suggs for Garland. Yeah, because that's just like a weird trade. I don't really get that from Cleveland's side. That makes no sense to me. Honest to God, if the Mavs, if Darius Garland were available, the Mavs could get there. I think the Mavs could get there. Gafford and PJ is pretty fucking good for a team that still wants to contend. Mavs have such good offers that teams that want to compete. Yeah, it's why I've said it and I still believe it. I think the Mavs had the best possible offer for KD, but they're not going to go for KD. Like the best realistic offer. Now, that is the interesting one. If it's PJ, Gafford, and probably a pick, maybe a swap, I'm not sure. Probably a pick, maybe a swap, and then parting ways with other salaries for Garland. Is that something Mavs fans would want? It's interesting. Especially if you feel like, I don't know if we can keep Gaff. I don't know if we can keep PJ with whatever money they want. Think Cavs get more for Garland? Well, it would depend on what they want, right? Like the Magic. Yeah, the Magic would be all over Darius Garland. But what does that trade even look like for them? Now, maybe it's a 3-team trade. Suggs goes somewhere else. That could happen. I could see that. Suggs goes elsewhere. That's too much for an undersized, injury-prone, non-elite guard. That's the other thing, too, is I think maybe we're overvaluing Darius Garland. Probably a little bit. Ivy trade, Lakers, Gafford, Pistons, PJ, Gabe Vincent, Christie, Lakers 26 first, Lakers second, Lakers 29 first from Dallas. And then the Mavs get Ivy, Fontecchio, Sasser, and Jordan Goodwin. So the Pistons are getting PJ, Gabe Vincent, Max Christie. That's a lot for the Mavs to give up. And I like Jaden Ivey, but that's a lot. That's a whole lot. Is Allen Garland enough for Giannis? Oh, if Giannis is going to get traded, that is. Now the Cavs are a second apron team currently, so I don't know how that would work. Mavs becoming clutch client central. I could see Garland. I don't know. I don't get why the Cavs, unless they're like, we need to save money. This team's not it. Let's break it up a little bit. I don't see the benefit of trading these guys right now. And I'm not sure. I'm really not sure a toe injury that might have him out a few weeks to start the season is enough to like tank his value in any way that's significant. But even then, I don't really understand. I don't really get it. When you're getting surgery, I don't know. Yeah, they're supposed to call me today. Would you rather trade the number 1 pick for nothing or watch a full Marlins Rockies game? Trade the number 1 overall pick. Are the Rockies still on pace to be the worst team ever? It's impressive. Does it mean anything in baseball if you set the record for worst record of all time in consecutive years for a league that's been around for 500 fucking years? Like, does that mean anything? I can't believe it just I hate the posturing. Let's just doom scroll NBA Central. I hate the posturing from some of these teams, man. The Celtics want a first round pick for Drew Holiday. Fuck you. You're not getting it. Yeah, Boston will be adding a first. Mavs should be all over this. Jesus Christ. If the Mavs trade a first round pick for Drew Holiday, I'm going to be livid. Livid. Bill Simmons thinks a Kevin Durant trade to San Antonio might already be done, and both teams are just waiting to announce it. So here we go. I wouldn't be surprised if KD to the Spurs is done already, and they just haven't announced it. Basically, they've agreed on the specifics, just announced it on the week of the draft. This goes back to the Giannis piece. I think they trade for KD because it just costs less. They'll be able to be real competitive and maybe go a couple rounds in the playoffs, but they're also going to keep the number 2 pick and do it that way, which is my prediction. Yeah, I mean, KD to the Spurs actually makes so much sense when you think about it, because it'll make them competitive now. They wouldn't have to like really tap into a lot of their other draft picks, but also beyond that, I think they have so much capital that they wouldn't have to cut too much into it. And also, if you give him like a couple years, he'll probably be off the books by the time Wemby's making $50 billion a year. It makes a ton of sense. Why would KD want to go there? Because they could be good. I mean, that team could be good, straight up. Let's not forget they have the Aaron Fox. I know, it's easy to forget. I forget all the time for some reason. But Fox, Wemby, Kevin Durant, I mean, that's a pretty good team. I don't know in the West what that means for you, but that's a pretty damn good team. Like, that is. Oh, wait, what? You have to convince him to play with a bunch of young bucks? I don't think KD cares about that. I don't know if KD wants to play with the youngins. I mean, yeah, I think he could. De'Aaron Fox getting moved soon. I mean, they definitely have an interesting backcourt dilemma. But look, our guy Gambo, who we saw just has a framed picture of Donald Trump behind him in his podcast setup, which, hey, to each their own. Just kind of a hilarious thing to have just in the background. But he's been saying for a while now, and he did say last week that it feels like Kevin Durant's going to go to the Spurs. And Kevin Durant himself, somebody asked Kevin Durant, where does he think he'll end up? And he himself said the Spurs. So what does that trade look like? I mean, you're probably just getting... Now, the Suns are a fucking mess. Destructive Matt Ishbia. That's what I call him. Little destructive Matt. He's horrible. No, we clocked this, right? We clocked this. I was years ago after he bought the team, was just like, do you guys know what this guy's business practices are all about? This guy sucks. When everyone was like, Matt Ishbia rocks. We love him. He's so smart. Everyone's like, no, Matt Ishbia is so smart. I was like, this guy's terrible, and this has new owner syndrome written all the fuck over it. This is a disaster waiting to happen in Phoenix. And once you know it, we've reached disaster territory. And now, little destructive Matt Ishbia has openly said, and this is hilarious, has sent out an email to members within the team saying this. I'm not the conventional NBA owner, and I don't want to be, Ishbia wrote. I've tried running the typical NBA owner playbook, hiring the experts, signing the checks, and getting out the way, and none of us were happy with the outcome. Ishbia has said, according to another source, Ishbia emailed the Suns basketball operations team internally on Wednesday, taking accountability for not doing enough to establish a culture and identity in Phoenix. The Suns owner stated that he tried running the typical NBA owner playbook of hiring experts, signing checks, and getting out the way, but no one was happy with the outcome. And now he's going to take a more hands-on approach. Brother, that's a disaster. Man, I'm looking at my old tweets. I hated this motherfucker. This is from 2023. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to a huge W billionaire owner, Matt Ishbia, terrible treatment of his employees' family at UWM. Oh my God, that's right. There was an entire subreddit dedicated to how shitty it was to work there. Oh, man. Also, huge W for Ishbia to see a huge increase in his yearly salary by hundreds of employees were let go. Huge W, huge W. This viral TikTok about Ishbia's huge W company, UW. Why was I saying this? What was going on at the time? What was going on at the time? I was upset. Sally loves capitalism. Hell yeah. So, anyways, the Suns are a complete and total mess. Now, what does a KD trade to the Spurs even look like? I haven't really seen it. Do I look at what our fans at Fanspo, the Fanspo community, have thrown together? Let me try to throw one together myself, just to like lay of the land. Most of these are always 3-teamers too, so that goes without being said. KD $54 million. Now, do the Spurs have to match that completely? Vassell obviously is in the trade. They can take on salary. How much salary can they take on? Vassell goes. And now let's just say one other contract. It's a no if Suns ask for Castle. Oh, it's a fuck you if they ask for Castle. Why would Phoenix not want Castle? Phoenix is going to want Castle for sure. But if I'm the Spurs, I'm saying no. No. Keldon? Would you rather have Keldon or Harrison Barnes? I actually think the Spurs, the Suns would rather have Harrison Barnes. Expiring, yeah. Would much rather have expiring than Spurs don't get KD. I think they're okay with that, honestly. I think they're all right with that. I don't think like KD falling in their lap just feels like a miracle. Like we can get KD for cheap, great. If not, then fuck it. We don't care. We don't like. It's not the end of the world for us. And then what else? Do they get a future pick? Yeah, and just from a player's perspective, I'd rather have Barnes than Keldon Johnson. Vassell, Harrison Barnes at a 14th overall pick. I mean, that's a home run for the Spurs. Like that is a grand slam. Yeah, the Suns I think need to get a little bit more. Because none of the players you're getting, I mean, like Vassell, you guys know I love him. Vassell, Harrison Barnes expiring. Like you're saving money in this scenario. Let's see what some of our friends are cooking up. Hold on, let me look at this one first. Nuggets get PJ and Caleb Martin. Mavs get Cole Anthony and Lonzo. Yeah, no thanks. Vassell, Booker, and Beal's a yikes. I also love hey guys, the Suns want to get off of Bradley Beal. Yeah, no shit. I love those reports too. Guys, they want to get off of Bradley Beal. Yeah, I'm sure they do. What are we supposed to do with that info? Like, that's great they want to get off Bradley Beal. The Spurs actually make so much sense for KD. So much sense. Spurs could land Kevin Durant, and here's a fair trade for both sides. Keldon Johnson, according to this, it's not fair. Keldon Johnson, Sohan, and 2 firsts. I always love the failed trades. Spurs smooth offseason. Oh my God, Vassell Harrison. Like, is that really what Harrison Barnes, Vassell first? Oh God. What about this scenario? Oh, KP and Cam Johnson and the 14th overall pick. What the fuck? Why are the Nets doing this? What? Vassell for Cam Johnson? Why on earth would the Nets do that? Oh, 3-team KD trade. Okay, the Mavs are getting Devin Vassell. KD goes to the Spurs. Suns get Keldon, Gafford, PJ, and the 14th overall pick. I mean, hell yeah, that's great for the Suns. I don't think the Mavs do that. Not sure the Mavs do that. So what's this idea that like the Nets? Oh. Okay, this one's somewhat interesting. Nets get the 2nd overall pick. Vassell and Harrison Barnes. And the 14th overall pick. The Spurs get KD and they trade back in the draft. So they get the 8th overall pick now. And the Suns get Claxton, Cam Johnson, and a 1st. That's a good return for KD for the Suns. That is. That's a very good return. The Spurs don't do this, right? That's too much. That's way too much. Everyone else says yes. Everyone else says yes. Besides the Spurs. I like the idea, though. I like the thinking there. Oh, hell yeah. This is what I like to see. Terry Rozier ends up on the Sun. Hell yeah. KD goes to the Spurs. The Suns also are sending Beal to the Heat in this trade. Oh, you're just swapping out horrific contracts. So in this scenario, the Suns are getting Rozier, Duncan Robinson. Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, and Sohan. But you are getting off of Beal. I mean, why the fuck would the Heat do this? That Beal contract is repulsive. Could Fox be in a Durant trade? Can Fox even be traded right now? Suns can't. I guess the Suns could technically. The Suns, you can aggregate, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, folks, you can aggregate contracts in a trade if the trade gets you under the second apron. If you're a second apron team, but the trade you're making gets you under the second apron, you can aggregate salaries. Am I wrong? I believe that's the case. This is just so many moving pieces. There's just no way. You're basically swapping an entire roster. Suns get Claxton in the 19th overall pick, but I don't. Why would the Nets? The Nets are just getting pawned. These fucking terrible contracts. Just getting pawned these horrific contracts, man. I don't like. Why would the Nets want Devin Vassell? I don't know. I don't really get it. Poor Devin Vassell, man. He's being passed out like a blunt in these trades. Why is Beal on here? Oh, they're just cutting Bradley Beal. All right, I've seen that possibility. I don't think it works in the way Fanspo's thinking it does, where it frees up that much cap. Yeah, that's a fuck up on Fanspo's part. Devin Vassell losing the sided by stamp of approval is disheartening. He just can't stay on the court, man. Like that's it. He's an exciting player. I don't think he'll ever blossom into the player. I thought he could. I actually saw some Devin Booker and Vassell at times. But he just struggles to stay on the floor, man. I mean, Harrison Barnes, Vassell, and a pick. Harrison Barnes, Vassell, and the 14th overall pick. Is that not the obvious play here? Yeah, it's not the return you were hoping for, but you were never going to get the return you were hoping for. Chuckles, 5 months inside Illusional Club. Is Hallie's most realistic historical comp Kid? Kid was a demon defensively. I don't think that's a great comp. I think Nash is probably it. Slightly, you look like the third stepbrother that got all dressed up for the Catalina wine mixer. Adam Scott? Watch OKC swing on Vassell this summer to help complete a KD to San Antonio Spurs trade, and then he pops the fuck off. So there's actually a trade I've been thinking about. And god damn it, folks. It feels like, again, I've always predicted the Thunder to do X, Y, and Z. This feels as clear and obvious as it gets. Cam Johnson to the Thunder with picks going to the Nets. The only problem is the Nets have 4 first-round picks. They got to trade some of those, right? There's no way they're drafting 4 times. They're trading up in the draft. Yeah, I could see them packaging like 8 and one of these 20 picks to move up. OKC have any crazy valuable first-round picks left? Well, they've got 15th overall this year. You've got Philly next year, 1 through 4 protected. You've got Utah next year, 1 through 8 protected. They'll be fucking terrible. Then, I mean, these Clippers swaps, bro, like, the Clippers won't be great forever. You know? You've got a Denver pick. You've got a future Mavs swap. You never know. That could be interesting. I mean, Denver 2027, top 1 through 5. That'll probably not be a great pick. $15th overall pick. I mean, they probably, like, they can't draft twice. Is there a world where the Nets could send Cam Johnson to the Thunder? What's the salary you would be cool sending out? Cam Johnson for Joe and Kenrich? And the Thunder send 15 to the Nets. And then could the Nets then package 8 and 15 or 8 and 19 to move up, and then they still have 15? Do you get what I'm saying? So they package like 8 and 19, move up, and then they keep 15. What team do you think they're going to move up with? I haven't like been following that. Are there teams that are people are saying would move down? I've seen ones where it's like the Sixers trade 3 to the Nets and they get 8 in return and Cam Johnson, which is kind of interesting. If you're Philly, would you trade 8 and 15 for 3rd overall and just rebuild? No, if I'm Philly, I would consider doing that if I'm getting Cam Johnson. I would absolutely consider doing that if I was getting Cam Johnson. So Cam Johnson, 8 and 19 for I mean, how do they getting there contractually is actually kind of complicated for them. Oubre, how do they get there contractually? Now you could just do the hey, you want the 3rd overall pick? You're taking Paul George's shit ass contract. Does this even work? Nets are taking on $31 million in this trade. Dude, that fucking Paul George contract is horrible, man. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. I can't get over how shit ass this deal is. Would you entertain a Bulls package to get number 12 and Kobe White, but you have to take Patrick Williams back? If I'm who? If I'm a team with salary, yeah, for sure. Now I'm interested in trying to figure out. So what's the draft order again? What are teams that we think could be? moving down in the draft. The Mavs, no. The Spurs, no. The Sixers, maybe. I have to say, there was also an NBA Central report that there's a belief around the league that the Jazz are opening to listening to trade offers for Lauri Markkanen. Again, I think you're a little too late. But if there's a world, right, the Jazz have what, 5? If there's a world where the Jazz say, we're tired of not having real high-end prospects, and you know what? We love Ace Bailey, or we love VJ Edgecombe. We got to get the 3rd overall pick to make sure we get that guy. I don't, that's horrible for the Jazz though, right? I've seen this tossed around. Where does Cam Johnson fit in OKC's rotation? Cam Johnson, the Thunder are so strange because they got guys with good shooting numbers, but it just doesn't, they're not a good, consistent 3-point shooting team. Cam Johnson would be big for them. I mean, he would play a lot of minutes. He'd probably be their 6th or 7th guy. And down the line, because I don't think Hartenstein will stay there forever. Down the line, he could absolutely start for them. There could easily be a world where the Jazz just prefer Trey. Oh, yeah. I mean, something like this doesn't make sense unless the Jazz are in love with somebody in the top 3 or in love with somebody in the top 5, so much so that they're like, we have to go up and get that pick. We cannot let that pick drop. I think the Thunder, or I think the Sixers almost certainly would have to send something else along with this, right? Like if I'm the Jazz, give me that 2031 pick too. Does this change the dynamics? SGA, J-Dub, Dort, Cam, Chet with Caruso, Kaysen, Wiggins, Ihart, etc. off the bench. That's pretty fucking nasty. That is pretty nasty. Does this change the dynamic for you if you're Utah? If you get a 2031 pick as well? And if you're the Sixers, are you comfortable including that? I would think yes. If the Sixers aren't in love with somebody at 3, and they're like, yeah, we'll take Trey Johnson, like we'll take whoever's at 5. We want off this Paul George contract. We want Lauri Markkanen. I still feel like the Jazz are getting fucked in this trade, right? Like, don't you need more? Mavs should pick up Julian Newman. Hell yeah. That would actually be a funny troll tweet. Like post some Julian Newman highlights and just be like, if the Mavs strike out on some trades, this could be interesting for them. You should post that one dribbling highlight of him. This Julian Newman kid. You have to attach the PG just to get off of him. So that would be the 2031 first aspect of it. Mark Steinbaum? Don't say that, because a Steinbaum could have something. We're now live. Jesus. There's no Mark Steinbaum. There's no fucking Mark Steinbaum. Did you see the Mavs new city jerseys? Actually, no, I didn't. They've released those already? Don't expect for Dallas to trade PJ and Gafford. Was he saying like both of them at the same time, or because that and is important? Don't expect to trade both of them, or don't expect them to trade either of them. I can't imagine there's a world where they trade them both. No. Oh, what the fuck? They're very similar to those ones a few years ago. Yeah, these ones. I mean, okay. It's a recovered version of the gold ones. Dude, these are so ugly, man. I will go down my last dying breath saying these are some of the worst jerseys they've ever put on. These suck. Lakers are apparently talking about Jalen Durant with the Pistons. I said that. Would you take the proposed Cam Johnson trade for OKC if you're the Mavs and it's for PJ? What was it again? If I'm trading PJ, I have to get a guard. I want to keep Gafford. And look, I love the guy, but Gafford I would trade for picks. I don't even necessarily need a guard in it. Gafford, I need picks. Just a pick, and I'm cool. PJ, I think I need a guard. I have to get a guard in the trade. Connect 30 swap, 31 unprotected, 32 swap for Durant. Who says no? God damn, that's a lot. I mean, I think the Pistons actually probably do that. No, I'm not sure. That's a lot. So you're all in if you're the Lakers. Your team moving forward is Luca, Reeves, and Durant. All right, guys, hold on. I have a full list of what's wrong with me. Pain of right ankle joint. That's it. No, I'm just joking. Closed fracture of distal fibula. Sprain of distotibial fibular ligament. Sprain of medial ligament of right ankle joint. Instability of joint of right ankle. And keep in mind, guys, a sprain could be a tear. Sprain, like a grade 3 sprain, could be a complete and total tear, which they don't mention on here. You still going to Europe? No. Unfortunately. Yeah. All right. God, I gotta say, I love doing mock trades for other teams because there's no stakes for me. I love doing mock trades for other teams. You know, doing mock trades for the Mavs, there's just like, there's my heart's in it. You know, there's emotional connection to players. I don't want to piss anyone off. These trades, other teams, I don't give a fuck. Other teams, other players, let's just throw anyone in there. Ranking the top 10 storylines of the 2025 offseason. This was a couple days ago by our guy Grant Hughes. Where did all the free agents go? Well, this one's not really that big of a storyline. This has been a reoccurring trend. I mean, in the modern NBA landscape, free agency is dead. The trade market is free agency now. Free agency just doesn't exist. It doesn't make sense for either side. It doesn't make sense for the players because there's so much money tied to you extending with your team and super maxes and all of this stuff. And on the flip side, it doesn't make sense for teams to, one, just not have salary on your books. Two, prep for having salary, open salary because there's no free agents. And three, there's no reason to not extend these guys and trade them at the very worst. So that's it. There's no reason for a team to not put themselves in a position where we'll just sign you and trade you down the line if that's what you want. So there's not, if you think it's a 1-year blip in 2026 free agency, will be chock full of stars. Note that some potential headliners of that crew: Fox, Jackson Jr., Bridges, Gordon, can ink extensions this summer. Yeah, I mean, all of those guys will get extended if I had to guess. Every single one of them. Further Knicks fallout. Is there really going to be that crazy? I mean, firing Thibodeau was crazy, and I think firing Thibodeau was maybe a sign that they felt that they were maybe further away than it might have appeared, being 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. But do we think they do anything crazy? I mean, if Giannis were available, I could see it. Shams reported last week that they made an offer to the Suns at the trade deadline for KD. Which, what do you think that means? Cat? OG? It'd have to be Cat, right? These are, they're wearing the throwback green ones. Yeah, I mean, these are sick always. The green is 100% approval rating for me. I'm a sucker for it. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy in terms of player movement, the Knicks. But you never know, I guess. They just make some moves for a couple more depth pieces, and that's it. Like, what the fuck? I don't... Just because you lost in the playoffs doesn't mean you need to completely and totally revamp your entire team. I always hate that shit. Copycat behavior. They say this every year. What's going to be the copycat? Change is only constant in the NBA, and it's going to be fascinating to see how teams try to emulate the latest trends embodied by this year's final participants, the Thunder and the Pacers. Much of what makes... you really can't replicate OKC. Like, you'd have to already be deep in the process of it. OKC will never be replicable. That's just the truth. It'll never happen. It's like they got lucky. They absolutely got lucky. They got lucky with the Paul George trade and Shay turning into Shay. They got lucky. And there was some lottery luck mixed in there as well. But you just can't replicate that, man. If Milwaukee said, we will give you Giannis, but we want Brunson with other limited assets, would you do it? I mean, Brunson and other limited assets, in 2K, you would do that for sure. The Knicks just wouldn't do that, though. Brunson is the Knicks. I would do it in 2K. Giannis is just way better than Brunson is. And if it's just Brunson and it's some other smaller stuff, absolutely. Any potential contender in 25-26 has to put itself together with an eye on beating these two teams. This sort of ties into the NBA absolutely is a copycat league in a lot of ways. But this ties into like the narrative that every team plays the same. Every team plays the same. I disagree. And I think the biggest learning, like the Pacers play with so much pace. Well, you can't just like do that. The reason why they're able to do that is because they have a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, who's one of the best in the league at playing at pace. And then a do-it-all Swiss Army knife forward, Pascal Siakam. Like, teams just can't do it. But what it is it's, if I were to learn something from the Pacers, it's coaches need to be a little bit more flexible. Build game plans around your personnel and then make moves to maximize that. Like, yeah, even if we don't have the top 10 player, the top 5 player, let's just absolutely maximize what we have with our best player and then go from there. And the Mavs got a lot of shit for doing that with Luca, but that's what they did with Luca. Was like, let's not try to be anything we're not. We're just going to maximize who we are. And they made it to a conference finals, and the roster wasn't good enough, but they did maximize it with the type of players they had. 3-and-D guys next to Luca. Are you going to risk the ankle to attend the Fort Worth Glizzy Fest? Yeah, I was just thinking about that. That's what I got the scooter for. But what is the one common 3 of the 4 conference finals teams outside the Knicks? Which it's ironic because the Knicks ended up tapping into their limited depth in a last-ditch effort to win that series. But 3 of the 4 teams, Minnesota, very deep team, right? Indiana, obviously, very deep team. Thunder, very deep team. That's just it. It's the weak link era. That's what people have called it. Although I will argue that it's always kind of been a weak link thing. But it's you want to have the most good players possible. Like, that's it. Luca, LeBron, and the Lakers. I will say this to me is higher than 7. I'm interested to see what the other 6 are, but the Lakers to me are probably top 3. They're like maybe the most interesting team. Let's start with Luca's extension. He's eligible August 2nd. Let's start there. Reeves is eligible for an extension July 6th. That would be incredible for the Lakers if they extended him at the number that he's eligible to be extended at, which is like $20-something million. Like, that would be incredible. And I highly doubt it happens. ESPN's Bobby Marks expects Los Angeles to be extremely aggressive this offseason. They're like number 2 for me, maybe. They might be number 1, actually. They're so interesting. The Lakers have to figure out what to do with LeBron James' next contract. I mean, what's there to assume? Like, I get on Twitter, we can argue about whether LeBron's worth this, LeBron's worth that. What's there to argue? What's there to like even discuss here? LeBron's getting maxed. Hell yeah. Luke Cornett on the way. Second apron in CBA fallout generally. So was it Brad Stevens? I think Brad Stevens was basically saying how it's not as hard as people say it is to make things happen with these new CBA rules. Which I guess, it's kind of funny because one of the talking points about the new CBA was that it's going to limit player movement in a lot of ways. And there's not going to be as many crazy trades. But I feel like player movement is crazier than it's ever been. Player movement is crazier than it has literally ever been. I know it's difficult, but I think part of that too is teams are just so desperate to not be like stuck paying a ton of money, and you might as well just be super aggressive. I think that's one of the things that we've seen in recent years. Teams are just going to sit around and wait anymore. The wide open East, yeah. I mean, the Eastern Conference is just really interesting in general. God, you just forget Embiid's even in the NBA. Like, seriously, anytime I see a picture of Embiid, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This guy won an MVP a few years ago, and it just doesn't even feel like he's in the league anymore. Is the Celtics demolition really more interesting than what the Lakers have going on? I don't think the Celtics demolition will be that interesting. I think it'll be like KP to Detroit, and they pawn Drew off somewhere. Which, yeah, you're losing 2 good players, I guess, but I like highly doubt it's a Jaylen Brown. A Jaylen Brown trade would just be insane. I think even a Derek White trade would be absolutely shocking to me. Brooklyn's pivotal position. There's just no way Brooklyn's more interesting than the Lakers. No way. Brooklyn's just really not doing shit. They're not going to do anything like ginormous. They'll try to move up in the draft. Maybe they trade Cam Johnson. Maybe they trade Claxton. But like Giannis doesn't sound like it's happening. And then what? They got $80 million in cap space. Jesus Christ. And this is why having cap space, like, if you're a team like Brooklyn, you should not be bringing in any free agents. You should be taking on picks to absorb horrible contracts. That should be what you are doing. If I'm them, I'm calling the Suns every fucking day. If I'm them, I'm calling the Suns every day. Everything you have left will take the Beal deal. Everything you have left will take Beal. Sixers. I'm calling the Sixers about that 8 for 3, and we'll take the Paul George contract. Hell yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. That'd be a good trade for them. An inevitable Kevin Durant trade. KD on the Spurs moves me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It moves me quite a bit. I'm telling you guys, it does move me a lot. It sounds almost inevitable. Like if Gambo's talking like that about the Spurs, it sounds almost inevitable that it's going to happen. Barnes and Vassell. Oh, man. They traded everything for him. They traded it all for Kevin Durant, and they're getting Barnes Vassell to pick in return. I just don't think Giannis is getting traded, man. I really feel like we would have heard something. And also, one of the other things that makes me feel as though Giannis is not getting traded is, and you guys tell me if maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but I don't know. All of this smoke about the Spurs and KD, that maybe there's already something agreed upon and they're just waiting to announce it. That to me signals that the Spurs know Giannis isn't available. Right? Like, isn't that what that signals? Because if Giannis were available, even if his destination, even if San Antonio wasn't a preferred destination, if I'm the Spurs, I don't give a fuck. I'm at least having conversations. Right? Unless there's already an agreed upon wink wink trade for Giannis to go somewhere. And it's already kind of agreed upon and we're waiting. As long as the Spurs called Bucks to see, that's all they can do. Yeah, I mean, and I bet that happened. And now the Spurs have learned, like, hey, Giannis is probably not getting traded. Like, let's shift our attention elsewhere. Fox, Castle, Champagne, KD, Wemby. That's not a bad team. And they'll I guarantee the Spurs would do something else as well. Gamby, that's what I call him. He's a great, great guy. Some say he's the greatest guy. I don't know who's saying it, but they're saying it, frankly. He knows all the info. The crooked ESPN media, they lie. All they do is lie. We call him lying ESPN. All they do is lie. Gambo, he's one of the best in the business, folks. He tells it like it is. They don't make him like that anymore. They don't tell it like it is in the media anymore. Gambo tells it exactly like it is. We love Gambo. He's a good friend of mine, Gambo. Let's wrap this up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Every NBA team's number one offseason priority. Dun, dun, dun! This was posted today by Don Favelli. Dan Favelli. You know, Don is a sick name. Don. But like not like Donald Trump. I'm saying like Don. There's no Donald. It's not short for anything. Like my foot. Let's wrap it up. It's already been wrapped up. Thank you, though. Atlanta Hawks. All right, so this is number one's every offseason. Every team's number one priority. Trae Young's extension. 4 years, 228 for Trae. Do you just do that? I mean, you just do that, right? You just sign that. I don't think that's... over 50 mil a year for Trae Young is a hefty price to pay, but I don't really know what your other options are. I don't really get trading Trae Young at this point. I don't understand what that does for you. You just do it and then you figure it out. Do it. Boston Celtics mapping out their gap year. The idea that Drew Holiday, they want a first round pick for Drew Holiday is fucking hilarious, man. Hilarious. I feel like we're just regurgitating. We're just regurgitating so many of these articles, man. These are all the same exact. They're like, we just read this article. Wasn't there an article that was exactly like this? There was an article that was literally identical to this just a couple days ago. Building a 4-team KD trade blockbuster. Full trade details. The Pelicans get Cat. I'm sure Cat would love that. The Knicks get KD. God, PJ Tucker's still under contract? Wizards get PJ Tucker. What is PJ Tucker's contract? He got bought out and signed in free agency, right? He's not making $10 million anymore. How the fuck does PJ Tucker still have a deal? Did he sign like one of those 2-year deals with them? He did. Team option, $3.4 million. How do you feel about Nikola Topic? We'll see. I was interested in him in the draft. I thought he was a good player. So Phoenix for KD gets DeJounte, Yves Missy, Kelly Olynyk. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks? What? I mean, no chance, right? Its own 26 pick. Okay. So they're getting that back from Washington. The Wizards have a swap from the Beal trade. In exchange for that, what could be very, very valuable pick, the Wizards are getting a swap between Milwaukee and New Orleans in 27. Okay. Indiana's 26 first. New Orleans 26 first. 28 first. Okay. So the Pelicans are trading 3 first-round picks in this trade? And Yves Missy? Why are the Pelicans doing this? I guess I don't get Kids Luca trade complaint. What is Bleacher Report? James L. Edwards of The Athletic reported that Kidd was not a fan of being Dallas' spokesperson after the team controversially dealt Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in February. Kidd didn't always enjoy being in Dallas. Kidd didn't always enjoy being Dallas' spokesperson in the aftermath of the franchise trading Luka Doncic, per league sources. Edwards wrote, in February 10th game against the Kings, Mavs center Daniel Gafford got hurt in the middle of the injury crisis. Multiple fans were also ejected in protesting the Doncic trade. Kidd didn't address the media afterwards. I remember that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's very fair to be upset about. That's crazy that 40-year-old PJ Tucker got a multiple-year deal. I guess that's how that usually goes, but Daryl Morey gave him. I mean, what is his career earnings, PJ Tucker? God, I can't. It's crazy. He's 40 years old. Nearly $80 million, PJ Tucker. By the time he retires, he will be nearly $85 million in earnings. I'm sorry, nearly $90 million in earnings. I actually think even more than that, because there's a big gap here in some of these years. Kind of insane. There's just no way Katie's getting you 5 picks, right? I mean, am I misreading this situation? Because we did the mock Spurs trade and it was 1 pick. Maybe I'm misreading this. There's no way he's getting 5 picks, right? No way. I'd be shocked. He's an expiring with a long injury history. Well, not only that, I think teams know that they have Phoenix bent over on the barrel. There's a couple of things working against Phoenix. Katie's bent over, or the Suns are bent over a barrel and getting spanked. Okay. And secondly, Katie's a major flight risk. So it would have to be a team that he basically okays. And a team that says, all right, we'll pay 36-year-old Kevin Durant for the next 3 or 4 years. Nearly max money. I'm not going to lie. All of the stuff I'm talking about, like, he is perfect for the Spurs. It's a match made in heaven. It actually is. They don't have, like, a lot of contracts right now that are limiting them. They can do this, and then they can get off the KD money by the time, like, Wemby's making a ton of money. And their young guys start to get paid. Like, it's like perfect. Rockets are there too, but it sounds like the Rockets have a love affair with Jalen Green. And maybe they're just Maybe they're just, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe they're just posturing. But, damn. I'm looking at this first take segment right now. More appealing head coach job, Mavs or Knicks? It's actually an interesting question. I mean, the Knicks, you're better. Your team's better. You're taking over a team that was 2 wins away from making the NBA Finals. There's a lot of pressure on you. Mavs, you'd be inheriting a situation that's a little bit rocky, but also I feel like your approval rating would be pretty high immediately. Knicks has no job security. But that's still a better job. You'd rather be the Knicks. They're a better team. Best training staff in the league. Mavs, that is. Yeah, that's true too. The Knicks are not better. They just have an easier conference. Shams nuke. Shit. Okay. Garland is likely to miss time per Shams. All right. Well, we did the math in our own head there and came to that conclusion as well. I'm just gonna fuck around on. You know what I think I'm gonna do with my project every day. I'm finally gonna put my head down and start. Working on this, really working on this video for the Mavs, like a full timeline of the season. I know I've been talking about it for a while, but that and going to just fuck around on the trade machine, make some trades every now and then. We're gonna do off-season predictions. I'm not gonna do like full trades. We're gonna do it how we always do it. We'll just predict where players end up. Do we think that they're maybe gassing this offseason up? I'm not sure. This kid stuff's interesting. What do you guys think about this? I don't know. I really have no clue what to make of this kid situation. I'll just take everyone at their word that kid's not going anywhere. But some of this stuff's interesting. I can't lie to you. My ears are perked up a little bit by some of it. All right. Listen to this on Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. All right. Still haven't got a phone call from the orthopedic place. Hopefully I do soon. And yeah. We'll figure out a schedule, because if I do end up getting surgery this week, which is my goal, the schedule will be a little bit wonky. But we're going to have a full... There will be a time once everything's settled down where I'll probably stream every day. In the lead up to like the draft and off season and all of that shit. Stream on meds. I mean, that's the thing, is I do have strong painkillers now, like that got prescribed to me, and like it wouldn't be a fun stream. Like it wouldn't be like slightly so loopy. What's he talking about? It'd be me like this. Yeah. So, anyways, like Kevin Durant trade. Like I'd just be fucking tired. All right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. All the OGs, guys, I love you very much. Could spend your Monday morning anywhere in the world you decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, you never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll be live again on Wednesday morning for Slightly Early. Chat with you all later. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.